The 1997 Oasis classic, Do You Know What I Mean, is not just a song. It's the song that changed my life. No, seriously, but more on that later. But what is the history of this classic Oasis tune? How many different versions have been officially released? And how do you play it on guitar? I'm going to run it all down on this edition of the Oasis Deep Dive. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, yeah.
Hey everybody, it's Nick here with you. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Oasis Deep Dive. On this episode, we're diving in to the 1997 classic from Oasis, Do You Know What I Mean? One of the most epic and longest songs in the Oasis catalog. So here we go. Do You Know What I Mean was written by Mr. Noel Gallagher, released as track 1 on the third Oasis studio album Be Here Now on August the 21st, 1997 in the UK and August the 26th, 1997 in North America. The song was released as the first single from Be Here Now on July the 7th, 1997, reaching number 1 in the UK singles chart, selling 162,000 copies on its first day of release and 745,000 copies sold overall in the UK. And this song is one of the longest in the Oasis catalog, clocking in at a breezy 7 minutes and 43 seconds, making it the second longest Oasis studio track that they recorded in their career, right after All Around the World, also found on Be Here Now, which clocks in at also a very breezy 9 minutes and 20 seconds. And this song, along with the Be Here Now album, was recorded at various studios in the UK in 1996 and 1997, including Abbey Road, Air Studios, and Orinoco Studios. The iconic cover of the single was designed and directed by Brian Cannon at Microdot and photographed by Oasis photographer Michael Spencer Jones, and it depicted the band looking straight at the camera, looking badass as always, as onlookers look at some sort of crazy man above who is depicted on the back cover of the single. And the music video for this song is one of the coolest music videos ever, with the band playing in a post-apocalyptic war zone of some kind as crowds of people gather to watch them as helicopters fly overhead. This music video blew my mind when it came out, and it looks like it could have been a movie. Plus, we all know that when you put helicopters in a music video, it automatically makes it 10 times cooler. And talk about taking a while to get to the good stuff. This song takes a whole minute and 5 seconds to get to Liam's vocal after all sorts of sonic weirdness. Not exactly normal for a radio single at the time, but you gotta remember, Oasis could do whatever they wanted back in 1997, even with a single that's 7 minutes and 43 seconds. But you know what? This is Oasis, man. It's epic as hell. And the song features Morse code in the beginning of the track when the band is making all sorts of weird sonic noises, and they tried to tap out the words bugger all, but weren't quite sure if it worked, but either way, it sounds cool. And also a very telling sign of the excess that Oasis was experiencing in 1997, doing lines of coke in the studio and tapping out Morse code. Is there anything more rock and roll than that? Before we continue, guys, if you like this video, please toss me a thumbs up. I'd very much appreciate that. And if you like this channel, smash the subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos. Let's get back to it. And in terms of officially released versions of Do You Know What I Mean that we've gotten over the years, we have the single version that was released in the summer of 1997 that is missing the plain sound effect that is found on the album version and Mystique demo versions of the song. And in 2016, we got Noel Gallagher's rethink of the track from the Be Here Now Deluxe Edition. This mix features the same performances, but the mix is very different. The bass is a lot louder and less drowned out than the album version. The strings on the song are at the forefront, and the overall mix is less muddy and noisy than the original studio version. Then we have the Mystique demo version of the song that was recorded in May of 1996, along with the other tracks for Be Here Now. And like those tracks on the deluxe edition that we got on Be Here Now, more acoustic, less electronic, but all the elements of the song are essentially there. The melody is the same. The lyrics are there. Really love the chiming acoustic guitars on this version. It's not as good as the finished studio version, but that's to be expected. And as I mentioned at the top of the episode, this song changed my life. I was 13, turning on 14 years old when Do You Know What I Mean was released as a single in the summer of 1997, right before my first year of high school. Oasis was already my favorite band for a couple of years by now. I was obsessed with Definitely Maybe and Morning Glory and was foaming at the mouth for new Oasis music and their upcoming third album, Be Here Now. So I went to the local HMV at Limeridge Mall here in Hamilton, Ontario, and picked up the single on the day it came out, put it into my Discman, that's right, my Discman, as my parents drove home, and nothing would ever be the same. The absolutely mental wall of sound, the incredible vocal and attitude of Liam Gallagher, he's so cool on this track, and in the video, Noel Gallagher's blistering guitar solo, it blew my 13-year-old mind into the stratosphere. When that song came out, I used to wake up every morning before school and listen to that song. It was my mantra, it was my anthem, and it really inspired me to become a musician and pick up the guitar myself. It lit the fire that has been burning ever since. And this is the very CD that I bought on that day back in July of 1997. It's still one of my favorite Oasis releases that I own in my collection. It really started me down on the road of collecting everything Oasis, of collecting all the singles, finding all the B-sides, and discovering all these hidden treasures that the band was putting on these singles. And talk about B-sides, when it comes to Oasis singles, Do You Know What I Mean is up there with the best of them. First, we have the song Stay Young, which is one of my favorite Oasis songs. To me, in my opinion, it should have been on the Be Here Now album proper, but the band felt that it was a little bit too poppy at the time, and I also don't think that Noel Gallagher is a huge fan of the song. But it really is a fun song, far too good to be a B-side, which is typical of most of the Oasis B-sides that were released back in the 1990s, and it has this fun, exuberant energy that I really love that puts it up there with the other like anthemic Oasis tracks, fist in the air tracks that make you feel like $1,000,000. Fun fact, Stay Young was featured as the song in the closing credits of the 1998 horror movie The Faculty. Just in case you want to check it out, it's a great movie and obviously it's got a great soundtrack. We also have the song Angel Child, which was a demo from the Mystique demo sessions that Noel did back in May of 1996. Although it may not be as good as classic Noel Gallagher acoustic tracks like Talk Tonight or Half the World Away, I always loved Angel Child. It could have been maybe a little bit improved if recorded properly in the studio, but anytime Noel picks up an acoustic guitar and sings a song like that, it's magical. And the final B-side on the Do You Know What I Mean single is the Oasis cover of the David Bowie classic, Heroes. When I first heard this cover when I was 13 years old, when I first listened to it on this single, I'd actually never really heard the David Bowie original version, so I immediately latched on to the Oasis version, and I always loved how Noel's voice really soars on this version of the song, in contrast to David Bowie's soft, more spoken word vocal delivery that he does on the original version of the song. And when the Wallflowers had a hit with their cover of Heroes from the Godzilla soundtrack in 1998, bad movie, good soundtrack, I always insisted to everyone that I knew that the Oasis cover version was far superior. I really do miss the 90s when bands like Oasis released singles with 3 B-sides on the flip side, songs that we never heard before. I don't think we knew just how good we had it. And a quick little tutorial for you. If you're interested in learning how to play Do You Know What I Mean on guitar, here are the chords. And apologies that I'm not playing a badass flying V guitar like Noel Gallagher does in the Do You Know What I Mean music video. And the funny thing about the chords for Do You Know What I Mean is that the chords for this song are exactly the same for the most part as another famous Oasis song, Wonderwall. Yes, the two songs are very different. Wonderwall is an acoustic guitar ballad, and Do You Know What I Mean? It's an epic psychedelic rock song. So what you're going to do is pretty much the same as Wonderwall. You're going to toss your capo or your capo, however you pronounce it, your capo on the 2nd fret, and the chord progression is just pretty much the same as Wonderwall. You have your E minor 7, you want to do it like that. You have a G major, I do like a D sus or a D sus 2 like that, or you can add that extra one in there on the bottom like I do, or do an A sus 4 for the 4th chord there, just like Wonderwall, but a little bit slower, so like this. Just like that.
Blood on the tracks and they must be mine. Fool on the hill and I feel fine. Don't look back 'cause you know what you might see.
Then we get to the bridge or the pre-chorus of the song where Liam sings, I met my maker, I made him cry. This is a little bit different. It goes from an E minor to an E major very, very quickly. So, and then to a D, the D sus, A like that. Very strange to go from that minor to that major very quickly, but it gives a cool effect to the bridge and the pre-chorus of the song.
I met my maker, I made him cry. And on my shoulder he asked me why. 'Cause people won't fly through the storm. I said, listen up man, you don't even know you're born.
And then for the chorus, you're right back to that Wonderwall chord progression, E minor, G, D, A. And then at the very end of the song, you might do, I think there's a little bit of a chord change there where it goes from like a C major 7, which is that. So it goes from like that to the D sus2, C major 7, D sus2, C major 7, D sus2, and then you can resolve it there on a nice A minor. Sounds great.
All my people right here, right now, you know what I mean?
And that's pretty much how you played, you know what I mean, on guitar. Obviously, they added a lot more beeps and boops and effects on the song, but pretty much it's Wonderwall Part 2. All right, guys, that is my deep dive into Oasis and their classic 1997 single, Do You Know What I Mean? Lots of memories of this song, one of my favorite Oasis songs, if not my favorite Oasis song. It's the Oasis song that changed my life. Let me know what you think of Do You Know What I Mean and your thoughts on this song and how it affected you in the comments below. If you liked this video, if you found some value in this video, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. And if you want to smash the subscribe button, I'd really appreciate that as well. And you won't miss out on future videos here on the channel. You can also follow me on social media across platforms at Nick Chino Music. But I'll see you guys again for another video here on the channel. Until then, rock on, everybody. Do you know what I mean?